Welcome to The Real with Joseph Labman. I am Joseph Labman. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of The Real, taking time out of your day to come watch this episode. I really appreciate that. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe for me. I'd really appreciate that as well. That's the best way you can support this channel and help me grow my content and grow this channel to where I'd like it to be. Everybody hit the like button for me on the way in on this video today. That also helps promote this video more in the algorithms, helps grow this channel more as well. Please share this content. I would really appreciate that. My guests would as well. If you would please share this episode with someone you know that maybe is interested in the topic we're talking about today. Please leave a comment below as well. We'd love to hear your guys' feedback. You can interact with myself and the guest on the panel and the live chat as well. Whatever we're talking about, just leave a comment there in the live chat. Pop in and say hello. We'll put it on the screen for you. And yeah, without further ado, let's get to the show. Welcome back to The Real with Joseph Labman. I am Joseph Labman. Welcome into The Real. If you're new here, please like, subscribe, and share. Hey, Chantel, how you doing? Welcome into The Real. A lot of stuff to get into tonight, obviously. Today was a crazy day up in Cleveland. We're going to get into it and break it down. But, yeah, welcome into The Real. Let's get a like rally on the way in here, and let's get it going because we're going to have a great show tonight for you guys. Obviously, a lot to talk about is the Browns. Lost yet again today, 23-16 of the Baltimore Ravens. Not a great outing for the Browns today in the second half. We're going to get to that, obviously. As you know, the first half was pretty good. Obviously, got takeaways. Had to lead at halftime. You only gave up 10 points in the first half. It was 10-16 at the half, and in the second half, obviously, 13-0. Browns were not able to get any points in the second half at all. Defense gave us big plays as well. Not a clean second half at all. Where's Mikey? I don't know where Mike is tonight, honestly. I think Mike's doing something with his wife, so he may pop in. I don't know, but we'll see. But I'm sure he'll be live this week on The Professional Fan with a whole lot to talk about. Mike was actually driving somewhere tonight because he had something planned. And as soon as I saw Shedeur was coming in the second half, I got on the phone and called Mike immediately. And he was like, "Are you kidding me?" And I was like, "Yes." He had to get up on his phone immediately and watch it. So I'm sure he'll have a lot of thoughts about it. But we have some other guests here tonight as well. So, yeah. So, obviously, today was Shedeur Sanders' NFL debut. And you can see I put here, not ideal timing. And the reason why I put not ideal timing is because this wasn't the ideal situation. This wasn't the ideal opponent that I would have put Shedeur out against. However, he's an NFL quarterback. He was the backup. You always have to be ready until further notice, obviously. Because your number could be called at any moment, and that's what happened tonight. His number got called. Dylan Gabriel, obviously. So let's go with the first half first. First half, again, I thought the Browns defensemen did a great job getting pressure on Lamar Jackson. I thought they adjusted well in the second quarter, taking away some of the runs, making Lamar have to sit in the pocket and try to scramble, and they did a good job getting 3 and outs. Forced a couple to pick six, obviously, with Carson Schweitzinger. Devin Bush, got the interception for the pick six. And then obviously you got the two, the punt. I thought special teams was a lot better today. And LeJohntay Wester, botched the punt return, fumbled it, and the Browns were able to recover it. And then obviously the one guy jumped off sides when the Browns were getting ready to punt it away midfield. And so they had good field position. Obviously the first one where he botched the catch, they were right down in the red zone. And then the second time where they got the offsides, they had the ball plus territory right at midfield. And for the Browns to only get 6 points, 2 field goals out of that, I thought was a little, especially the one down in the red zone. That to me was a little, I feel like that's a part of the first part of the game where they kind of gave it away because you had a lot of momentum. You had a lot of, good things going your way. Your defense is on fire. Your special teams playing a lot better. They gave you a gift down there. And to not, get in the end zone one time out of those 2 trips, that to me was, that it's not good. Like you got to be able to put the ball in the end zone at least once or twice there. Good teams do that, but the Browns are not a good team. They don't do that. And so they haven't done that all year. And so, to me, that's, you go out, if you at least get 1 touchdown there out of those 2 trips in the first half with the special team, with the punt blunders from the Ravens, right? So let's say you take away a field goal and put a touchdown on the board. It's 20-10 at the half. Now it's a 2-possession game. And you may have a different game today. Who knows? Or if you're able to put point, really both times, you're able to get some sustainable drives and get in the end zone. I mean, the one you don't need a drive. You're right down there in the red zone. They were right there. I think they were on the 10-yard line where Wester dropped the ball. If you're able to get a touchdown there, which you should with all the momentum, and they didn't. And they didn't. I don't think they really, on the first down play, last week when we saw Tommy Reese, when they got, remember, I think they got the ball at the 40 off a turnover in that game against the Jets. They took a shot immediately down the field, which I liked. I feel like this game when he was down to the 20, in that situation, I'd like them on that first down to take a shot right there with all the momentum. I know even Charles Robinson was saying that when he was calling the game, but I get they're trying to get the ball to Judkins, which I have no problem with. Judkins is a home run, threat from anywhere on the field, but they only get 6 points out of those two, special teams things at home. To me, that was disheartening, and I think that's where you gave it 2 gifts away right there. And then obviously this, a lot of those drives in the first half with Dylan Gabriel, I thought Gabriel will make some great throws and rhythm and on time and run the offense well. And he had a couple nice throws today. He had the one in the first quarter he rolled out left. I thought he threw a beautiful pass to Cedric Tillman over the defender. That was a great pass. I love the play call today where he pump faked on the screen and threw it downfield. I think it was to Tillman again on the seam. I thought that was a great play. So he did some nice things, but he'll do one good throw and then he'll follow it up with a dink and dunk throw. He'll get sacked, or he'll just completely miss an out route. And that happened a couple times on third down where he just had a couple point blank misses, especially the one, off of that offsides I was talking about where they had the ball midfield, past midfield, and he missed the out route throw there to Harold Fannin, just one right in the dirt. Stuff like that where you watch him and you're kind of like, okay, he looks too small at times, that he can't process the field. And so that's my thing with Gabriel is what you get with Gabriel, what you see with Gabriel, I think is what you're going to get. I think he's improved a little bit in some areas in terms of just getting more comfortable and processing certain things. But in terms of, getting out of the pocket a little quicker, maybe trying to scramble a little bit and make something happen, I think he's done that a little better. But other than that, he hasn't really improved majorly or any. I don't want to say he hasn't really improved dramatically. That's the word I'm looking for. In any week to me, like he hasn't done anything to wow me or to show me like, okay, this guy has potential to be an NFL quarterback, a starting NFL quarterback rather. He just doesn't show that to me, and so, he gets hurt though. Obviously, we saw today the first half. He gets hurt. He took that hit, and got a concussion. And I didn't notice he took that hit like that because he ended up playing the rest of the half. But by the time he went in the locker room, they said he got evaluated back there, and he then came back in for concussion protocol. So here came Shedeur Sanders, and that's why I say not ideal timing. It wasn't the perfect timing because to me, this guy, number one, he never had no first team reps. And I was saying this, if you watched my show the last month, I said this guy's a snap away from being out of the field. He hasn't had any first team reps. What coach or real functioning team does that? Like, if this guy's a snap away, he's at least got to get like 4 or 5 reps in a week with the first team. I mean, that's not asking a lot. If you know how practices are, if you actually know how practices are ran from any level, really, high school, college, NFL. I know guys who've been all part of all of them, and I've seen them. It's not like for him to not have any first team reps is crazy. And they said today, Kevin Stefanski, when they talked about it during the game when he came out there, Charles Robinson, I believe, was even like, I guess Stefanski said they have this thing where they have these extra periods after practice where the guys that don't play have like their own little practice or something like that. And Charles Robinson, I've been around the NFL a long time. I've never heard of this thing that they were talking about, these extra practice or whatever it was called today that they mentioned during the game. He goes, I don't know what these little extra practices are that they're called, that Shedeur's a part of for the guys that don't play. And so for him to say that to me, I thought was interesting. He's been around the NFL a long time, Charles Robinson. I think he knows a few things. But, but anyways, I just that's always been the thing to me. I'm like, this guy's a snap away from being out of the field, and he hasn't had a single first team rep. And what I saw today, honestly, guys, is kind of what I expected, because you threw him out there to the fire against a hungry Ravens team who started out the season 1-5, is now 5-5. They're a division rival. They're a Harbaugh-led team, and they're hungry right now, trying to win, trying to get back in the playoff hunt, and they very well can. And for them to not get this guy any first team reps in his whole preparation leading up to these games, yeah, that's not the perfect time to put him out there against that team in that situation under those circumstances. And what I saw a lot from Shore today, obviously you look at a stat line, not great. 416, 47 yards, only 2.9 yards. A completion, one interception, sacked twice for 27 yards. I saw a guy who did not look comfortable at all. I saw an offensive line, number one, for both of these guys. What I saw today for both quarterbacks is a deteriorating offensive line. They're older in the interior, and the tackle play is not consistent, not good, especially on the left side. And so, you have a deteriorating offensive line. You have receiving corps who's been very consistent. Guys don't get open consistently. I know there's people out there last year and previous year or this year talk about the receiving corps they actually get open and blah, blah. If you look at the tape, they don't get open consistently that much. I don't see. I saw a lot of plays today where they were smothered, and the quarterback's sitting there. The first read wasn't there. It was an out route or whatever wasn't there. The quarterback's sitting there scrambling. It didn't matter if it was Gabriel or Shedeur. They're just sitting there scrambling, and they're looking. I thought Shedeur did a nice job as the game went on of making plays, of scrambling, getting a couple first downs. But I think when he first came out there, I saw a guy with his first NFL start. The speed of the game, obviously, is the highest it's ever going to be. And he has no reps with these first team guys. He's not really prepared to where I think he should be prepared for his coach. And what I saw is kind of what I expected. Now, to Shadeur's credit, I thought as the game went on in the fourth quarter, I thought he started to look a little more comfortable by the end of the fourth, where he was starting to kind of flush out of the pocket more, and he was starting to pick up on the timing a little bit. And I think he made some throws that were catchable. Obviously a couple were dropped. He had one miss in the back of the end zone when he wasn't able to set his feet going out left. But I thought he was starting to make some things happen. He got him down, where they had a shot at the end of the game to get in the end zone. They just weren't able to execute. But I thought the offensive line did not do a good job for either quarterback today of picking up the blitzes and the pressure, and that's been a problem all year. That offensive line definitely needs a complete rebuilding, obviously, as we know. And they have no offensive lineman on under the roster right now for next season. So it's going to be a complete overhaul anyways to begin with. But, again, my reaction to Shadeur's debut is kind of what I expected because of his preparation. It wasn't there. It hasn't really been there. Not that he hasn't done anything. I'm sure he's prepared on his own as he has to, and he should. Is what he's paid to do. But for a guy to not get any first-team reps, it's a snap away. To me, that's been an issue, and I've been saying that for weeks. People could say what they want about Shedeur or blah, 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 whether they like him or not, or Stefanski, or whatever. But that, to me, I look at that's a base problem to me. That why is this guy not getting any first-team reps at all since he's been here? They even go back to the summer. He never get any free. He was throwing to practice. He was throwing to equipment guys during the summer, where Gabriel's been given first-team reps all along since he got here. But your job as a head coach is to make sure all your guys are prepared as possible. And it's not just Shedeur. If you look at the Browns a lot this year, how many times we went on the show, we said they just did not look prepared. They did look like they were just behind. They look like an uninspired, an undisciplined team at times. You see that a lot. Like last week, jumping off sides at the end of the game when everybody in America knew they weren't going to snap the ball. The Browns still snapped the ball. Or not snap the ball. The Browns still jump off sides, excuse me. They still jump off sides. It's like the Browns do the opposite of what they should be doing. That every other well-functioning franchise does. The stuff that they do, the Browns don't do it. And so, I could sit here and pile on Dylan Gabriel. I could sit here and react to Shedeur Sanders' debut and all the missed throws and this and that. But both of these guys have something in common, and they're in a terrible situation to grow as a rookie quarterback. They're in a horrible situation. And Kevin was asked about the reps today after the game of the lack of reps of practice for Shedeur with the first team. And Kevin with his very in-depth answers as usual. Here's what he had to say. Here's Kevin postgame.
How did you think Shedeur handled everything that comes with first NFL start, taking over versus a Ravens team?
Yeah, listen, we trust all of our guys. We trust our guys to perform. He's no different, and playing a backup quarterback role, as we've talked about over the years, that's tough to come in there. But we trust him. I know there's things that he's going to want to do better, but that's why we work.
You talk so much about, or we asked you a lot about Shedeur not getting any reps with the starting units. Mm-hmm. So that was like really his first legitimate snaps and reps with the starting offense, correct?
Yes.
Do you think that there was any maybe kind of rust or?
Yeah, I understand the question. I would tell you we do so much work with the quarterback position and the entire team, not just those reps on a practice field. And those are, as we all know, those are tough reps for when you have a young starter as well. But there's so much that we do to supplement that type of thing.
Okay, so that was Kevin's answer about that. They do a lot of things to supplement those kinds of things, right? And that those are tough reps, he says. Kevin, what's more important than him throwing to the guys he's going to throw out in the game? I mean, that makes no sense. That's like if you teach a kid, a 16-year-old come out of high school who's never driven a car before, and they're going to get their driver's license. Hey, we're going to tell you about all the rules, which is important. You're going to take all the tests, but you're never going to drive a car, and we're just going to hand you your license one day. You can go out and drive scotch-free without taking the driver test and not passing it, without learning the car, getting comfortable behind the wheel. Just here's your driver's license. Have a nice day. Enjoy driving. Don't wreck. Even though you probably will because you've never driven a car before. You don't know how it operates. I mean, that's what they're doing with him. It's like they gave him his driver's license. They said, okay, go drive a car. We never taught you. You never passed the test. Never, took the test. Never did the maneuverability. Never did any of that. How in the hell do you get ready for a game if you don't throw to the guys in live reps in practice who you're going to be throwing to in the game? That's insane. And I love all these people that sit online and defend these people every week. Like they act like they're the smartest people in the room on Twitter and all these punks on there. And because that's how they act. I hate to talk like that, but some of you guys act like, my gosh, you criticize Kevin, you have a meltdown on Twitter, or how dare you? You act like you're the smartest person. You know what you're talking about. None of you people know what the hell you're talking about to begin with. A lot of you could tell never played football. And I know I sound like the old football head who, wants to go out all these analytical guys and blah, blah, blah. But if you never put your hand in the dirt, you never been around practice, you ever been around coaches and I've been around plenty of great coaches, been around a lot of them all year. They don't operate like this at any level. There's high school coaches that do a hell of a lot better job than this. Of divvying up, getting your backup. And I don't think Kevin's a bad football coach, but his mismanagement of this backup quarterback this whole organization's mismanaged this room all year. Let's go back there. You took 2 rookie quarterbacks in one draft. You brought in Joe Flacco, who was already here 2 years ago. He didn't bring back after the year he had going to the playoffs. And oh, by the way, you fired that coaching staff too after that season. Remember, don't forget that. Who went to the playoffs with 4 different quarterbacks and your 4th string left tackle. Just fire him. The hell with it. And then, so now they bring back Joe Flacco. And then they bring in Kenny Pickett and 2 rookie quarterbacks. And you had the whole circus and fiasco during camp. And you end up trading Kenny Pickett before the season starts, and you trade Joe Flacco 4 games in, and now you have 2 rookies out there, and the one has still yet to take a first-team rep in practice. He was throwing to equipment managers, equipment guys back in spring and summer, and today he's going against the Baltimore Ravens with Roquan Smith and Kyle Hamilton. Yeah, that's really preparing him. I mean, and he said it. He hasn't had 0 first-team reps in practice. So, again, how do you get ready by not throwing to the guy? I mean, any quarterback you've asked that I could bring up here more quarterbacks just at the high school level that will tell you how important it is to throw to guys in a game that you're going to be, because for timing reasons, and getting the feel, luring the guys, you just kind of get a feel for everything. That's how it's how you get comfortable. It's how you get those. So when you get in the game, it's not as hard. I mean, I know guys. I'm around a high school all year who goes 3 deep at quarterback. The backups still throw to the first team guys in practice, because you never know. You have to have that chemistry. They have to be prepared. and it's not that they get, obviously the first team guy that gets most of the reps, but the backup guys still have to get reps through camp and stuff, and through live action, and through training camp and preseason. I mean, what the hell were they thinking all along? It's just, this whole thing was completely mismanaged from the jump, the beginning of the season. And now they're in a situation today where you had a winnable game at home. You had 3 takeaways in the game. You actually had a pretty balanced attack. Yet again, Tommy Rees 2 weeks in a row. I like his balance. 26 passing attempts, 25 rushing attempts. I like that. I like that they're more balanced. We're not dropping back 58 times. But you know, you had a very winnable game at home. You should have won that game, and you gave it away. And you gave it away before the season even started because of how you mismanaged things. And you look at the game, the second half with Shedeur again. A lot of what I saw is kind of what I expected. Didn't look prepared. Not ideal timing, like it says in the thumbnail. And so, and with Dylan Gabriel, this guy hasn't gotten better from week to week. He hasn't gotten better week to week. What areas he got really dramatically better at week to week? I haven't seen it. You know, I don't think he's playing like he's not. It's not his fault they're losing some of these games. He's a rookie. I give him grace. I think Dylan is a nice kid, but both of these guys, like I said earlier, they're in the same situation. They got a bad deteriorating offensive line, bad organizational structure, which is most important, mismanaging the preseason, and an inconsistent wide receiver group. I mean, not ideal. So, I don't know. Kevin Stefanski after the game said if Alana's still in Gabriel's healthy, he'll be sticking with him as a starter. But he's in concussion protocol, I believe. We'll find out more about that tomorrow. But we'll see. I obviously doesn't play. Shedeur will play next week against the Raiders in Vegas. So we'll see. He'll have to get first team reps now, I would assume. We'll see how that changes this week, even if Gabriel is healthy. Parmesan, good to see you. He said Shedeur did well from what he didn't have at his disposal. Wide receivers dropping balls, garbage cans blocking for you. We need an overhaul to the offense. Jimmy Cleveland, thank you for the $5 donation, my friend. He said, so now you see why Shedeur fans are irate, no reps. Mopar Diva, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. Why did they stop the run in the second half? Yeah, I think that's a good point that I actually wrote down I meant to get to. I thought another point in the third quarter, too, when you put a rookie quarterback out there, they could not run the ball. I think the Browns ran for like a combined 10 yards or less in the second. I could be wrong, but it wasn't a lot of yards. I actually looked up before I came up here. They could not run the ball that well at all in that third quarter. And I feel like that put a lot more pressure on them as well. But you have to be able to establish the run. I thought they did a better job of running the ball more on first and second down, trying to take pressure off him, but they just could not. The runs themselves were 2-yard runs, in the third quarter. Fourth quarter, they started to get out. Junkins got loose a couple times. They started to open things up a little bit. One thing I noticed about the Browns today with either quarterback in there is when they actually took shots down the field, like when Shedeur threw the ball to Fannin at the end of the game, or when Dylan Gabriel hit those nice passes down the field. Stuff happened. They were able to move the ball. The defense got off balance. They weren't expecting it. That's the one thing I think where the Tommy Rees and the Kevin Stefanski and the offensive staff, where they really got to do a better job at is, I get you're trying to, protect your younger quarterback and get him in a nice rhythm and all that, but you got to let these guys take shots downfield. You got to keep the defense honest. You can't just play conservative all game. Because, how many weeks we've seen with Dylan where he's averaging less than 5 yards per completion, which is horrific in the NFL. And I don't think a lot of it's not. I think some of it's because he can't his height, but I think a lot of it too is it's just kind of their philosophy offensively. It's not really. They don't take a lot of shots downfield, And I thought Tommy Rees is slowly starting to figure out he's implementing that more. Like the shot they took at the end of the game there. Which was a 50-50 ball that almost was caught by Larvin, but they need to start taking more shots downfield and keeping defenses honest. They're too predictable. Still, teams can just start loading the box, and if they do roll out on a play action or they pass, it's just gonna be a little sticky or a stick route or an out route, a short 10-yard router in. So they need to kind of. I think they need to take more shots. You saw Promise to 12, and he was already throwing 25 yards for Dylan. It took him up to 6 games just to throw 27 yards. Teflon, good to see you. Said 12 was cheeks. Y'all mad because you found out. Chantel said Shedeur had not had first team reps. He said that in the press conference that his first time throwing to Judy and David. Yeah, that's a problem. Again, if you're the backup quarterback, you're one snap away, like we saw today. That guy should have, at some point since he's been here, a decent amount of reps with those guys. That's insane. That's just crazy to me. I don't know any functioning franchise that's successful from high school on up that operates like that. I don't think they do. So I know they don't, but that's insane to me. But again, when you bring in 4 quarterbacks beginning of the camp, which didn't make sense to begin with, you saw they managed that. Like Jerry Judy said, when Joe Flacco was traded, kind of basically said it was what was the point of the whole circus in the summer. I mean, these guys, this is what happens when you have a bunch of people trying to be smarter than everybody else in football, smarter than the people that have actually won championships and have been around the game for a long time, and want to they want to redefine the game and do it their way. This is what you get right here. So that's my take on all this. So we get to my guys now. I know they got some takes. Joining us now, always keeping it real. Jersey's in the house. I don't have to really say anything. That's all I say. He's just always keeping it real. That's all I got to say.
Always.
Just hit what he thinks. And also joining us from the city of Detroit, not straight out of Detroit, from Detroit. I'm sure he's watching his Lions right now as well, as they're trailing 6-13, the third, a good contest against the Eagles. Gerg is in the house.
What's up?
What up?
Gergs, what's happening?
Just watching this Lions game. Close eye to that, that's for sure.
But yeah, for sure. But guys, I appreciate you staying patient. I had a lot to talk about tonight. We'll go around. You go first, Jerry, and Gergs, you go right after him. Your take on today's game, and as I put it, not ideal timing.
Well, here I only saw the second half. Actually, I'd sat down to watch it right before we found out Gabriel wasn't coming back in, but it wasn't good. I don't blame him entirely. I really don't blame him at all. I don't really blame the players ever. Just coaching staff. It's just amazing how ill prepared he was when he came into the game. He looked like a deer in headlights, and it should never look like that. And Baltimore was caught on real fast and just started dialing up the pressure. O-line just couldn't block. I mean, it can't block shit. So, but I do feel like it just seemed like when we got into the fourth quarter, he started to settle in a little bit. Started to, like Tommy Rees, started call some plays that made him a little more comfortable. You see now how he likes to roll out left, turn out left, and throw down the field, which is what he tried to do to Isaiah Bond. We saw him do that so many times at Colorado. Just didn't miss. He missed today. Just didn't have time to get his feet set. But the thing is, just as I'm sitting here listening to you talk about him not getting first reps, him saying that this is the first time he's ever got to throw the ball to Njoku and Judy. Like, obviously, he's not getting those reps. Why? It makes you think, like, if you're a head coach of a team or if you're the Cleveland Browns front office, why this guy has now been your number 2 quarterback for several weeks now? Why? Like, it doesn't seem normal. Like, why are you not giving this guy reps? Like, what is their plan with this guy? Or are they in like a protest because they didn't like the pick, or what is it? But either way, you got to give this guy reps. You got to give him time. And if this isn't from in here, I'm not saying that Shedeur Sanders is going to turn out being a great quarterback. No one knows. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly.
But what I'm saying is coaching staff, it's all I ever talk about is the coaching staff. with every player, they have got to do what's right by that player, and give them all the work they can, because that's the process. Practice. You're winning games. You always hear that they practice, practice, practice. Well, here, you can't disregard practice. You win games by practicing hard. And
it's not
here
practice makes perfect. It's perfect practice makes perfect. It's like last week when I heard people defending, saying, "Well, that's not Stefanski's fault. The guy jumped off sides the other game." And I'm thinking, when people that actually play football say, part of it is because not all of it, but that goes back to your practice habits. Like that goes back to preparation. Knowing the situation of the game, the attention to detail. Like, what the hell were you guys saying between that play? There was a long pause between the play. Nobody said, "Hey, watch the ball. Don't watch the ball." I mean, if they say it loud and clear. I mean, I know I've seen it live in person where a coach would scream it at him up until the ball's not until they said, "Okay, they're not doing offsides."
That's what it is. There's just, lack of focus. There should never be a lack of focus in a game. I mean, these guys should be so dialed in that if we're sitting here as fans saying, "All right, don't jump because there's no way in hell to snap at this damn ball." Well, how the hell do they not know that? You know what I mean? Like, it's like their awareness is just, and to me, that's a culture that's lacking throughout the week. Terrible preparation, terrible focus, no communication, not practicing the small things, zero accountability, no discipline. So it's terrible. And you see, and here Sanders will be playing. Gabriel got a concussion. What they're saying is, so I'm pretty sure he has to sit out next week. So that'd be amazing. Sanders gonna get fucking killed next week. Then he's gonna be the QB. So, because that's what the Raiders are gonna do. They're going against Max Crosby. They're just gonna dial up pressure after watching this game. So, it's just bad on the Browns' part. And here, like I said, that was a winnable game. But again, I just can't say how bad that second half was. And here, and you're bringing in this guy. Yeah, this guy's played a football game since November last year in college in the Big 12. Okay, so they should have tried to stick to the run a little more. I mean, what Judkins have maybe, I can't imagine any more than 5-6 carries in that second half.
Let me look that up for you. It's gonna take me a second though.
I mean, I know what Sanders had 16 passes. 16.
Yeah, he had 16 passes. Let's see. I gotta look here. I gotta go back and count all the plays.
Yeah, either way, I mean, they should have tried to get the running game going. They should have tried harder. That's just crazy to put that dude out there. And
they ran the ball 10 times in the second half.
Okay, so it didn't seem like they did, but
I think they attempted to run the ball in first and second down,
Yeah.
which I thought they did a good job at. I just thought a lot of the runs just weren't there. But I think a lot of it was that the Browns don't take shots downfield. Their teams know that. So
that's it.
They just
stretch the defense out.
Yeah, we could just drop Kyle Hamilton down in the box more. We can spin the safeties last second. Get a guy coming down the delayed blitz, or they do. There's different types of stunts they run on the D line. They were just dialing up pressure the whole time, but also they know we just got to keep everything in front of us with the running game. Just get rally and tackle. They're not going to take a shot down the field. They were daring the Browns to take a shot down the field up until that. Even at the end of the game, with the pass, they're like, we hope you throw it downfield. We don't think you're going to do it, but try it.
Well, it's every week too. I mean, they just never throw the ball downfield. Never even attempt it. I mean, Flacco could do it. but it just wasn't consistent enough. I mean, here I was bitching. What was we watching? Was we watching a game last night or? And I was bitching about all these screens in football today, just
The
all
Texas
levels of
Georgia
football.
game.
Oh yeah. I mean with Sarkisian, that was horrific last night. I mean, off topic, but just talking about football in general, like all of these little freaking screens and little deep passes and bubbles and what the hell has happened to football? I mean, in football it used to be quarterbacks threw downfield. I mean, they stretch out defenses and they just don't do that now. And it's fucking terrible. It's just
Oh, by
shit.
the
It's
way,
terrible to watch.
David Njoku only 2 targets today.
Yeah, what is up with that? You know what I mean? Like, what the hell is going on? I mean, I get you got Fannin and Fannon's productive. You still got Njoku. Use them both. Get some targets to them, especially if you like throwing these short routes.
Where's
Good
the tight end
grief.
screen we haven't seen all year? Remember we used to see that tight end screen to Njoku used to get a living off of? We
Yeah.
haven't seen it called. I haven't seen it really all year.
And here it's Stefanski in that press conference when he was asked that question about the reps. You could see again he got pretty irritated. But
Yeah,
he
you don't want to
says,
talk
"Yeah, I
about
know.
it.
Yeah, well, talk about it, asshole. You know what I mean? We're tired of it. You need to talk. You know what I mean? You're a coach in the NFL. You are obligated to talk to the fans. I'm tired of this bullshit getting up there,
No,
these
they'd rather have
political
their
answers
people.
and talking
No,
out his ass all the time.
he'd rather have his people in the media speak for him on Twitter and
Gosh
the
darn, quarterbacks are going to get killed out there. I mean, it's terrible. It's absolutely fucking terrible. How does this idiot have a job? I mean, if you can't, that's like Gertz was saying in our text. How does this guy have a fucking job?
as a head
Gosh
coach.
darn, what am I doing? I could go coach better than this fucking guy. I think I could. I really think I could. I really think I could run a sideline better than Kevin Stefanski. I swear I think I could. I mean, this guy is just so lame. Just such a wet mop. He's like a wet mop. He just has zero personality. Uh, you can tell he comes off. I'm starting to see that in these press conferences. He tries to come off very subtle, and he's such a nice guy. But man, when you start to dig on him a little bit with these questions, you start to see the asshole come out of him. The arrogance. He's just so freaking arrogant. So,
Yeah, like a lot of those people that defend them online and the local, some of the local bloggers and media and in the national media. We're gonna get to that here in a little bit too. With some
they're all assholes. How could you defend this guy? I mean, how could you actually call yourself legitimate at what you do and defend this guy? How? Go watch every other press conference with coaches, and then watch this guy, and then look at the body of work. Look what's going on every week. How do you defend this guy? Any of you, come on here right now if you're watching, or come on next week, and come on and defend this guy. I mean, it's terrible. It's terrible for the players. It's terrible for the fans. And how is it still going on? I mean, we got the main asshole out of here. Now we got to get him out of here. It's just good grief.
It's like Dan said right here. The Browns are averaging 7.2 points per game in the second half of the games this season. Saints and Titans are the only two that are worse, and they aren't even a full point behind. And one of those
That's
teams.
what I said last week. Yeah.
And one of those teams fired their coaches, by the way, already too. Halftime is for coaching, and there isn't any going on. Yeah, and that's coaches where you make a lot of your living is a lot of halftime adjustments.
Mm-hmm.
I know coaches at the high school level in Ohio, they're making playoff runs right now. You know where they make their bread and butter? Halftime adjustments every year. They go out there and they'll even say it. I know one of them. He'll go out there in the first half. All right, let me see what they're going to do. See what their game plan is. Move our chess piece around. Halftime, they come out. It's a whole totally different team in the second half, and that's where they usually win their games.
I mean, there's nothing he's doing. He's not giving any halftime, speeches. He's not getting in their asses. He's not. You know what I mean? But how can he anyways? He doesn't do it throughout practice. It's obvious he doesn't. He doesn't do it through the week. So how the hell is he going to do it during halftime of a game? All of a sudden, he's just going to start coaching. The guy's just not. He's just not a coach. That's what
That's all
he's
we get
just
right
not.
there. This is the
He's
demeanor we
just,
get every week.
yeah, that's it. That's it. That's all he thinks he owes to the fans.
Wow.
Should have paid him the millions of dollars he's made. So just move the hell on from this guy. I don't care who you hire. Just get me somebody. Just give me somebody with some fire in them. I mean, it's just no wonder these guys are just flat. I mean, the players are just flat every week. I mean, they're just uninspired. There's no identity because this is what you got.
Oh, and the new one now too with the Vrabel thing, people are saying is, well, Vrabel has Drake May. That's why he's doing it. Well, Drake May's a second-year
Oh my
quarterback.
Lord.
He's a second-year quarterback. You guys
Yeah.
act like he's like a 7-year All-Pro, won a fucking Super Bowl. Like, no, they turned it around because Mike Vrabel went in there.
Listen,
Go ahead, Gergs. Talk some sense.
every quarterback in the NFL is talented. It's up to the coaches to develop them into who they are.
That's
Tom
right.
Brady was a freaking, obviously, you know Tom Brady's story. Like, he's not Tom Brady without great coaching. Nobody is who they are without great coaches who are going to put them in the best position to win, to succeed.
I agree.
I am just, you put up there not the right time or not ideal timing. I've said this all year. There is no ideal timing when it comes to any quarterback starting for the Cleveland Browns. Like, it's not ideal. It wouldn't be ideal timing if he had a full week of preparation. You don't throw the ball downfield. It's a terrible looking offense. Stefanski, whatever. Oh, I'm going to give the play calling over to Tommy Rees. So does that mean that they don't have a single play to throw the ball down the field? I mean, it is awful what you see. I mean, my God, I don't even care if they don't get open. Freaking throw the ball down the field. Like, I can't. It's like, why am I watching another Cleveland Browns game where all it is just 10 yards and in throws? I mean, it is just awful. It is. I mean, why is he still the head coach of the Cleveland Browns? I just don't get it. I don't get it. I'm not here saying blame Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur Sanders played exactly how I figured that he was going to play. I don't care who plays quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. If Drake May played quarterback for the Cleveland Browns would suck. It doesn't matter who plays quarterback for the Cleveland Browns under this regime, under this system, they are going to suck. I am so sick of the quarterback conversation, as if Shedeur Sanders was going to come in under this regime, under this coach, under these play calls, and become the savior. He's still going to do what his coaches are asking him to do, which is an impossible situation. Dylan Gabriel, impossible situation. If you're the quarterback of the Cleveland Browns, you are in an impossible situation right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, half after half after half, they go into halftime and they can't score a touchdown after halftime. I mean, today they didn't even score a point. It's awful. It's terrible. I don't understand why it's consistently bad, and there's no I don't know. Like, it just doesn't even make sense how many times you have to see the same thing over and over and over and over and over again before you're just like, you're fired. I mean, I just don't get it.
Well, and your point is
don't
on
get
the
it.
money. Like we said this last week, Gergs, and it drives me nuts when people say this about how, well, they just need a quarterback. They're just a quarterback away, and it's like, no, they're a lot away.
Oh.
They're a foundational structure away, a culture away, and then they can identify a quarterback away. But you don't just plug in a quarterback and and what quarterback has Kevin ever truly developed here?
None.
He hasn't developed
Baker
any.
wasn't Baker before. Baker was Baker before the Cleveland Browns and after the Cleveland Browns, but not with the Cleveland Browns.
And Baker didn't last year because Kevin, according to Stub Mitchell, who was on the staff. I think he would know. He's around him every day. He just didn't jive well with Baker. And, so they ran him out of town. They went out and traded for the $230 million man. I would say a lot of that wasn't all on Deshaun Watson. Yeah, he wasn't in the right headspace coming out of all that. It wasn't what people thought. But I don't think he was properly prepared or coached. I mean, you fired a staff, and then you brought in Ken Dorsey for Deshaun Watson, but Ken Dorsey never called the plays when Deshaun Watson was under center. What sense did that make? So that season was doomed from the jump last year. And I said that going back to that, go back to my episodes back then in August of that year, 24. I said that this is not a good thing they're doing. And they shit on that season. They mismanaged the offseason again. During training camp, they mismanaged it again. And look how it's catching up to them now. They effed up this season already. Again. So it's 2 years in a row where they've messed up these seasons. And I don't see how, Jersey and people say, well, he's shown it before. No, he hasn't. That wasn't all him. Well, what makes a good coach? What makes a great coach, rather? The staff he puts around him. That's what makes a great coach, is the staff he surrounds himself with. And this guy and this organization, they had a staff with their fourth string left tackle, and was it the multiple different quarterbacks that year? In 23, they fired that offensive staff. But how did that make any sense? That's on him. That's on them as the organization. They don't get up. I mean, that's crazy. That it's the staff you put around you is what makes you a great coach. Like, and having a great staff. And you go ask any great coach, they'll tell you that. But he doesn't do that. He gets a pass. He's the quarterback whisperer, Gergs.
The quarterback whisperer. He is the complete opposite. I mean, he's basically just every quarterback that stepped in there almost destroyed them. I mean, all of them have been mismanaged. Every quarterback's been mismanaged. They even took a vet like Flacco, and this year was mismanaging him. Flacco looked like he needed to just go hang it up, put his diaper on, and be done. You know what I mean? But they traded the hell out of him.
I know he didn't have a good game today, but he's looked a lot better.
Yeah, since he got out of here.
Yeah, since he got the hell out of here. I mean, he
So
actually looked like a decent quarterback again. But Dan says, remember when Mike Vrabel was here and looking for a job? And yeah, that's what people will always remember. Until they finally get the right guy in here, that's what everybody's gonna look back to.
Maybe they'll think a little bit harder when the Patriots win the Super Bowl here in the next few years.
Or make the playoffs, even win the division. We have won our division, 86. Go Ravens. Shedeur Montana says Fataj dude. Ken Folk Nim said, why did Shedeur randomly get thrown in the game? Did Dylan Gabriel get injured? Yeah, he got a concussed, I believe, in the game. He had a concussion protocol. And Dylan didn't come out in the second half. Shedeur played the whole second half. Look what happened to DTR when he threw DTR out there and didn't know he was starting until 40 minutes before the game started. Yeah, that's another one, Chantel. We actually were talking about that, I think, last night. We were at somebody's house in Jersey, and we were talking. I said, yeah, they threw Dylan Gabriel out there the day of, and he didn't know he was starting until the day of. And it was one of the biggest debacles you've ever seen. And the guy went out there and looked like he was a deer in the headlight. He looked like Shedeur, a deer in the headlights today. He looked like a guy who was not prepared.
It's just bad what they've done to these quarterbacks.
Wait until Vrabel comes to get Schwartz and Garrett to join. Well, here's the thing about that, Dan. He already took somebody good on the coaching staff. Remember what I said about the coaching staff a couple minutes ago about the staff you surround yourself with. And one thing Stump, and I can't wait until we get Stump on the show one day, we can really break all this down in depth. But one thing he said on his show repeatedly for a long time, and especially recently, there was a guy on that staff they had named Ashton Grant, who was an offense assistant, who everybody in that building, who like including Stump, said Ashton Grant, they all knew he was a high level coach, right? Who could easily got an upgrade and should have got an upgrade in the organization. Vrabel comes here for 1 year and takes him over to New England as his quarterback coach. Well, guess who's playing quarterback really well right now? Drake May. And just like,
Yeah, but Drake May is doing that all by himself. You know what I mean?
oh yeah, no
It's
help
not the
at all.
coaching. It's not.
McDaniels,
Yeah.
Ashton Grant, he has no part of that. Just like Baker's. Remember Baker's 21 season? As everybody said, it was all Baker's fault. He's bad. You know, he wanted to play injured. I remember people say that. Well, he wanted to play injured. Well, that's their job. I don't care. Of course, the player wants to go play. Their job's to keep him in protocol, to keep him and to protect their health, the health of the player. He shouldn't. Baker shouldn't even playing that year. I heard he was.
Well, hell yeah, he's gonna play injured. He was a contract year.
But
you know what I mean?
But they should never even put him in that situation to begin with. If they would have rested him properly and put him back, they never gave the guy a fair shot to begin with. They mismanaged that again because they don't know what they're doing. But in the other thing with that offensive staff, in 2020, T.C. McCartney was his quarterback coach. Everybody said in the building, T.C. McCartney and Baker jived. They were like peanut butter and jelly. Stefanski decides to take TC out of the room and put him in the tight ends room the next season and put another guy in there. And look what happened. It wasn't the same. And guess what happened to TC? TC went to the tight ends group, and David Njoku made I think it was a Pro Bowl that year, or had one of his better seasons. The tight end group improved, but he's completely mismanaged not only the players, but he can't even get the right structure of his staff properly. That's where he's really going wrong. The rooms aren't even stable. The tight end room, quarterback, none of these rooms are stable.
He sucks. He's hired here.
What's up, Ronnie? Good to see you.
Oh gosh, whoever anointed this guy qualified to be an NFL coach? Like, how did this ever happen? Like, just because he was an analytical, he showed the same philosophy as D. Podesta, and I mean, who the hell?
Well,
how did this guy ever get a job?
Remember that? We don't know what D. Podesta did. We don't know what he did. You know, everybody, said it, and it's all over the internet, and you just Google it. It's not hard. We don't know what he did.
Yeah.
Even though when they hired these guys, mainly why these guys were hired is because he liked those two more than anybody else, the other GMs. Yeah, Charles Robinson of CBS Sports won on 93 The Fan said it came down to George Payton, who's now running the Broncos, who beat the Chiefs today. And has a quarterback and Sean Payton. He chose Andrew Berry over him because he liked Andrew Berry more. Andrew Berry got the job over George Payton because D. Podesta liked him more. So go ask Charles Robinson, whose reporting was wrong, people. And we all know why Kevin got the job, because he liked Kevin more. So, I mean, everything they've done, it's just been mismanaged. When the great Bill Callahan, one of the greatest offensive line minds and coaches of all time, said, I want Tristan Wirfs, not Jed Wills. He liked Tristan Wirfs more, and they had the choice between both. And they said, okay, Bill, we'll take him. And they took Jed Wills instead. And Indeed Podesta is the first guy out there in the media that night saying, we got the guy we wanted all along. He fell right to us at number 10. When Bill Callahan wanted Tristan Wirfs, who's still with the Bucs right now, won a Super Bowl, looks an all-pro. If he keeps on the track, he's going, as long as he's healthy, might probably be a Hall of Famer one day. But Jed Wills is on the street right now. I mean, they knew more about offensive line and scouting than Bill Callahan. So we got to trust them. Don't question nothing. Don't question anything. If you talk about it, you're a conspiracy theorist. You're this, you're that. You're anti this. You're blah blah blah. You're not a Browns fan. Everything's a conspiracy. The people that constantly say that, but I ask you guys, what are you really hiding? Because you can't hide anymore. It's all everything we've said all along. A lot of other people are saying now, come around on. It's all coming to light. today was another example of that, of mismanagement and just bad organization. And that's what you saw today, a bad organization.
See it every week.
It's unbelievable. Dan says, why not trade Njoku for picks if you're only going to target him twice in a game and get him one catch for 7 yards? Yeah, Gergs, I know you were saying that too back then with Dan. I mean, why would you hold on to the guy and you only get him 2 targets in a game?
There's just so many things that I just don't understand when it comes to the Cleveland Browns. I honestly, like, I just don't get so many things that it's becoming like hysterical to me. Like it's becoming laughable. Like the fact that the only touchdown was from the defense. I mean, we're just the Browns are completely wasting like a defensive performance on the season that you don't get every year, no matter how good your defense is. I mean, they're playing historically good, and they're 2-8. I mean, Devin Bush had his first interception in 7 years. Pick 6, touchdown. You know, that's the only touchdown you get.
They had 3 takeaways. And the special team, remember the 2 punts, the offside,
Yeah.
and when West, they got 6 points out of both of those
Yeah.
combined.
Yeah, I mean, it's a muff punt. I mean, it's just like, what are we like? I just don't know how many times we have to say the same thing
Mm-hmm.
in order for. I mean, it's just like, hello, and you can, and I've said it. You know, I mean, here last week I took a lot of heat from the Shedeur fans. You know, as I was saying, it doesn't matter if you put Shedeur Sanders in; it's going to look the same. It's just, it's everything around them. You can't insert one player and it just be life changing on the offense. Like it's just not going to happen. They just have so much. Throw the ball down the field, please. Just try it. I just don't understand why they will not throw the ball down the field. I don't get it. I mean, get a pass interference for God's sakes. Put it in the ref's hands for God's sakes. Do something to stretch the field. I mean, do you even need 2 safeties against the Cleveland Browns?
You don't need any.
Yeah, I mean, what are we doing? It's just so. It's pathetic. It's just pathetic.
Yeah, I agree. It's pathetic. All right. Let's see. What's Josh saying here? He said, like, imagine how much better defense would be if they had a good offense. How demoralizing do you think it is to the defense, game in and game out, to lose because only the offense? Yeah, I mean, what did Myles Garrett have? He had Myles Garrett. He had the 5-sack game against New England, and they lost that game. Remember, he was upset visibly, was throwing his helmet, obviously, as he should be. Myles Garrett today, he had another big game. Let me see, how many sacks did he have today? Myles had 4 sacks today, 5 tackles for loss. So Myles had another monster game, 5 quarterback hits today, and Jersey another game where it didn't really matter in the end because, you know, they couldn't muster up any points. The offense yet again couldn't score over 20, and the same old stuff every week.
I just don't know how these guys keep doing this shit. And like, I'm sitting here thinking like, I kind of got to give it to the Sanders people because it's, we've seen it many times over the years where people start to dictate where they want to go, or they start to hoot and holler about going to the wrong teams, and they haven't said a word. I mean, now I get, they're probably just grateful that he was taken because it was looking like he was going to get taken. But I'm just surprised that Dion, being in the league as long as he has, he knows all the ins and outs and knows how the shelf life can be short, especially for a quarterback. I'm just surprised they're not fucking screaming such like, get the hell out of here. Just, you know what I mean? It's like, I mean, I know it's early. The kid, he's only played a half, but still, like, it's he's just gonna get killed. I mean, next week it's gonna be bad. I mean, unless he miraculously improves, taking all the first reps this week, and Tommy Rees and the O line, and everybody gets their shit together. But this dude, because that's all they're gonna do. They're gonna fucking blitz almost every down, and they're not gonna. Browns aren't gonna throw it down the field. It's just gonna be so easy. I mean, it's like a scrimmage for any other team. All we got to do is just show up. We're gonna win. I mean, the Browns are so predictable, so they just tee off on the quarterback and just get the easy W. So I don't know how any of these fucking players, Garrett, Ward, it's got to be so frustrating to be on that defense, especially Garrett. My gosh, man, just putting up these numbers to get ready to break his all-time sack record.
He's going to end up with two. You get two targets.
Yeah. It's freaking crazy. Like, are they part of the problem? Have they fallen victim to this culture? Like, they're just okay with it. I mean, I wouldn't be. I couldn't work with a bunch of fucking losers around me. I could not go and just bust my ass and just have a bunch of people around me just love to lose. I'll just go. I couldn't do it. I could not do that. I'd be screaming. And a lot of people say, "Well, no, you shouldn't do that. You should be you're a pro athlete. You should be great for you're on a team." Bullshit. Here, the players are the ones that keep. Nobody gets on. Nobody pays $100 a month for the cable to watch coaches. They watch players. You know what I mean? The players are what make it what it is. So they can command. At some point when they say, "Here, I got to get the hell out of here. Trade me, please." I understand. You know what I mean? I've been in that predicament before, where I had to get out. I had to get the hell out of where I was at because I was with a bunch of people that just didn't share the same mindset as me, and I got tired of. I like to win, and I was around people that didn't like to win, and so I don't know how the hell they do it. I really don't. These guys have been there for as long as they have. Like, I'm just thinking of Ward right now. Like, how many? What's Ward, like, his 7th year?
Yeah, since 2018, yeah.
And it's been the same thing. It's been the same thing. And like, when do you say I've had enough? It's because this isn't like just bad. This is historically bad. When you talk about, oh, that was a bad tackle on Hurts. When you talk about just professional sports teams, I don't know if there's one that's ever been. When you think about like a fantasy, let's just talk about a fantasy. You talk about fantasies all the time, or dynasties. I mean, say like the Patriots dynasty or 49ers dynasty. When you talk about just a dynasty of just shit, I don't know if there's anybody worse than the Browns. I don't even think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the 70s, 80s, 90s was even worse. Because that was really bad back then. The Browns are the worst, I think, of any sports team in the last 26 years. It's mind-boggling, and people just keep on buying tickets and spending their money, and nothing changes. It's just like, is it ever going to end? Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't get it. Someone wants to join us real quick. Pop in here. Who was at the game today? DB's in the house. Joey, what's happening, brother?
Hey, what's going on?
What's going on? Well, we've been up here ranting for a while. Josh's tickets were like 30 for 100 section today. $30 sitting in the lower bowl. That's crazy. But Joe,
They had
you
some
were
tickets that were under $10 that they couldn't get rid of.
damn. But Joey, you were at the game today.
Hey, but we're gonna sell. Hey, but we're gonna sell club seats for $280,000 for a season.
Yeah, that was outrageous for those ticket price for the new stadium. But Joe, you were there today at the new state or at the new state. Hold on, you messed me up. Joe, you were at the game today. Now you got me thinking about those ticket prices. I forgot about that PSL they put out. But what was your thoughts? And what was it like in the stadium today when Shedeur came in and all that, and watching it unfold?
It was cold, man. I'm about to. I just got home. I'm about to take a hot shower here. I was freezing my butt off, but yeah, it was a good time. The game was a lot of back and forth. I mean, it looked like the Ravens were just gonna do their thing, and then we got that pick six, and then we got some energy in the stadium, and then I went to get like a hot dog or something, and then I heard that Gabriel was in concussion protocol, and I was like, oh shoot! And then I heard Shadeur's coming in, and then the crowd just erupted. Like people were going crazy for Shedeur. It was actually really cool to see how united the fan base is and how much we disliked Dylan Gabriel. But it was cool to see. And then Shedeur threw that pick, and everyone's like, "Oh man, we're gonna suck forever." But it was a good game. We hung in there, and they gave us some hope at the end. Myles Garrett, 4 sacks, another amazing game for him. Defense was awesome. Offense looks horrible as usual. Gabriel looked terrible. Shedeur looked terrible. Judkins, I thought, was decent. Especially he was good.
DiBiaseo, do not say Shedeur Sanders looked terrible. How dare you?
Oh, he looked terrible. I mean, it was his first game, so I'll give him some grace, but he did not play well. If I had to grade it, I would give Gabriel an F, Shedeur a D minus. But it was a good time. I mean, it was a fun crowd. Most of the crowd stuck around till the very end of the game, which was nice to see. But it was cold. It was very cold, and I'm kind of wanting that dome after a game like today.
Yeah.
Even though I like the Cleveland weather.
Joe, I'm gonna play this press conference clip from Kevin Stefanski and get your reaction to it. Stefanski, after the game, was asked about Shadeur's reps and his preparation, for moments like today. Obviously, it was a snap away at any moment of being the backup quarterback. He had never taken any first-team reps before today's game, and I know Judy and he said after the game he had never thrown the ball to Judy and Njoku really. Wyatt Teller said he never really heard Shadeur's cadence in live action either. So here's Stefanski after the game.
We had talked so much about, or we asked you a lot about Shedeur not getting any reps with the starting units. So that was like really his first legitimate snaps and reps with the starting offense, correct?
Yes.
Do you think that there was any maybe kind of rust or?
Yeah, I understand the question. I would tell you we do so much work with the quarterback position and the entire team, not just those reps on a practice field. And those are, as we all know, those are tough reps for when you have a young starter as well. But there's so much that we do to supplement that type of thing.
I'd like to know what that is.
Especially when.
What's that, Chris?
I'd like to know what is the so much they do to supplement.
Well, when
those
Shedeur
reps.
came out today, they said on the broadcast, they said something. I guess the guys who don't play in the game do like an extra period of practice or something every day after or something. And I think it was Charles Robinson. He's like, I've been in the NFL a long time, never heard of this. He literally said that on air during the game. The commentator even said, I never heard of this. So I to me, this is insane. What I saw from Shedeur today is kind of what I expected because the guy hasn't thrown any has any first team reps. You threw him out of the Wolves.
And again, I don't even know if that matters. And again, it's not a Shedeur Sanders thing. It's just simply the situation.
It's an organizational thing.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not here to say that Shedeur Sanders is great, because I don't. I do. I think he should have won in the 5th round? No. But do I think that he should have went, in the top 10? No, I don't think so either. I think that Shedeur can be great. I think he has the confidence. I think he has the ability. I just think that he is in a terrible situation that hasn't had a good quarterback forever. And
for a reason.
Yeah, exactly. And so we can argue the Shedeur Sanders versus the Dylan Gabriel until we're blue in the face, but the same excuses that everyone wanted to blame Dylan Gabriel for, we're now wanting to give those excuses to Shedeur Sanders. And that, to me, is, I don't think that's cool. You know what I mean? I mean, Shedeur Sanders, yeah, he's a rookie, got thrown in. Yeah, whatever. I get he hasn't had any first team reps, but I mean, Dylan Gabriel's had more, of course, but he's still a rookie too. He's still playing behind a bad offensive line too. It's all of these things that Shedeur Sanders is about to walk into, if he truly does walk into it and starts next week. It's the same situation that Dylan Gabriel had, but you guys wanted him on the bench because he sucked. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking about Shedeur Sanders fans. It's like, you can't make those excuses for Shedeur Sanders and then turn around and act like, well, Dylan Gabriel sucks. He looked terrible. Well, I'm sorry, Shedeur Sanders didn't look great either today. I'm not saying that he did horrible or anything like that. I mean, he had one interception, probably should have had 2. Kyle Hamilton just completely dropped another one. But terrible ball in the back of the end zone when Bond was wide open. The next play, the defender made a great play. I think that was probably his best ball. I thought that was actually a good pass. I just think the defender, made a good play on it. But I think that you're going to see flashes of both, because I think that they're both talented. But I think it's going to be hard to keep drives alive with these rookies in this system, with us not throwing the ball down the field ever. And it's not going to look good no matter who's under center, in my opinion.
Yeah. He said, I can't believe you allowed this nonsense on your show. What was nonsense that he said? Because I think what Chris is trying to say is, it don't matter who you put in here at quarterback. We got, how many quarterbacks have we had since '99? We can't count. That's right. Over 40. So what does that tell you? I mean, yeah, I get here. One thing I would say, where I think Shedeur has more grace than Dylan Gabriel, is he has 0 first team reps, or Dylan's been treated like their guy.
I get it.
Summer. I don't think Dylan's gonna be an NFL quarterback, but I get what the point you're really trying to make is, this organization, the people in charge right now, they don't know how to develop a quarterback properly, because they've never done it. And all they've done since this group in particular, since they've been here in 2020, is mismanage quarterbacks. They mismanaged Baker Mayfield. He looks like an all-star right now down in Tampa. They went out and got Deshaun Watson. The guy looked like a shell of himself when he was playing quarterback here. Anybody they've ever brought in here, they bring in 2 rookies this year. Both of them completely mismanaged. You brought in 4 quarterbacks back in training camp. What sense does that make? None. But that's they're doing as an organization. And that's what Chris was really saying is, we can judge we can talk about these quarterbacks all we want, but the organization does not know clearly how to develop a quarterback to begin with.
Exactly.
So, yeah, it don't matter. And really, that's where Shedeur and Gabriel have something in common, is they got a bad offensive line, not an inconsistent receiving core, and
And
they gotta
neither have had
they're
as much time as you
they're
want.
they're in a terrible situation.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sitting here defending Dylan Gabriel. I'm not. But Dylan Gabriel, I get Shedeur Sanders hasn't had any first team reps, and quote unquote Dylan Gabriel's had all the reps for 6 weeks. We're sitting here acting like he's a third year pro that's had multiple reps and stuff like that with these guys. Like he's had more reps than Shedeur Sanders, but he clearly is their guy more than Shedeur Sanders because he was the one drafted in the 3rd round, not the 5th. And again, I'm not saying that's what I would have done. I'm saying that's what the Cleveland Browns did. So if you're expecting the Cleveland Browns, who drafted Dylan Gabriel in the 3rd round, to give the opportunity to Dylan Gabriel before Shedeur Sanders, who they drafted in the 5th round, like, of course they're going to do that. That's why they drafted him in the 3rd round. Again, I'm not saying it was the right move. I'm saying it's just clearly they like Dylan Gabriel more. So, of course, they're going to give him the first chance. Now, have they mismanaged this whole situation? Of course. Should they have given Shedeur Sanders some kind of reps? Of course. But we're acting like Dylan Gabriel has had all the reps for years upon years. He's had all the reps for 6 weeks.
Well, he's had reps back in the summer though too. There's no reason for Shedeur should have been thrown to equipment staff guys.
Joe, I 100% agree. It is not excusable what Shedeur Sanders clearly got into the game, and he's never had any reps. That's a fireable offense right off the rip, in my opinion. But my point is we got to stop acting like Dylan Gabriel isn't a rookie either.
No, I agree with that. Yeah, he's a rookie, but
they're both going to struggle in a bad situation as rookies. And of course, they're going to give Dylan Gabriel the nod because Dylan Gabriel's who that was their guy. And again,
the fact that was their guy is mind-boggling to me, because that guy before the draft, I would have said this guy's never going to be an NFL quarterback because he's too small, left-handed. He'll have a shot. But that's I know you agree. I've said all along Shedeur's had the higher upside. That's what I don't get with them though. Like, why are you? It's like I go back to what Jersey said earlier. Like you said, Jersey. It's almost like, is this like a protest? Like, because Haslam, it's apparent that Haslam made them take Shedeur. I mean, you saw their reaction when they took Shedeur. Stefanski and Barry, they didn't look thrilled. And the way they've operated since, at the end of the day, he's still a quarterback on your roster. He should be prepared and treated like an NFL how he should be. And they haven't done that. You know, that's where I don't. And it's like this guy put on the screen, or this person, excuse me, said they don't even have a vet quarterback to talk things through. And that's another.
They have Bailey Zappi, dude.
Yeah, Bailey Zappi, a journeyman.
I'm kidding.
Oh, I know. And I mean, the 2 vets they had, they traded them out. I mean, so when they go out the field, they're talking to each other. You have 2 rookies up there who have never played in the NFL. This is their first seat. Hey, we're trying to help each other. That's horrible. That's insane.
It's horrible. It's a complete disaster, and they screwed this up so bad. And you guys, the moment they drafted Shedeur Sanders and Dylan Gabriel, obviously, I have the text to you guys. That is the worst thing that they could have done. I mean, just completely stupid.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, why are you drafting 2 rookie quarterbacks? Why are you drafting Dylan Gabriel? I agree. I'm not saying he's good.
Yeah. And that's like what the Amber says. Good to see Amber. Well, I agree with this. You should give them equal opportunity. I mean, Dylan Gabriel shouldn't even been a 3rd round pick. I don't know if he should even been a draft pick. I mean, maybe a 7th rounder, 6th rounder, but they should have been given equal. They were supposed to be some quarterback battle. Remember we heard Mary Kay. I think it was Mary. I don't want to put words in people's mouth, but there was the feel back at camp was it was going to be Flacco versus Pickett, and it was going to be Dillon versus Shedeur. But that Dillon versus Shedeur was never a real competition because Shedeur never got the equal amount of reps to make it a competition. He was never put in the situations in practice. He was throwing the equipment staff guys. And it caught up to him today. He had to get put out there because he was a snap away, and it happened, and he was not prepared at all. And it's crazy to me that they thought that was okay all year. I don't. I mean, it's crazy. Let's see. Are you talking about me, Rodney, or Chris? Deshaun will be back under center by year end. Don't worry. Oh boy. If that happens, then I don't even know. He said Sanders let the cat out of the bag when he said that was the first time I ever threw to Judy and had. I agree, and yeah, we talked about that earlier. I mean, that's pretty bad. And I guess somebody else put in the comment too that Wyatt Teller said that's the first time I ever heard Shedeur's cadence. That's crazy to me as well. Somebody used to play center. If I didn't know both of my quarterbacks' cadences, to me that's wild. But yeah, completely mismanaged from top. I mean, this is insane. Joey, you still there, brother?
Yeah, I'm still here.
I'm sorry, we got a little sidetracked here for a minute, but I guess before you get going, what was your reaction to all that with Stefanski's press conference post-game press conference and what he said? Okay, Joey left. Anyways, so
he didn't want to talk about it.
You don't want to talk about that's all right. But we've talked about it enough anyway. So we'll end with this. This going back to Kevin Stefanski here. I saw this today from the Dogs podcast. I believe it's the Cleveland Browns podcast. They said, I've seen this conspiracy theories thrown around about Kevin Stefanski's connections with Dillon Gabriel via Stefanski's agent. Stefanski's agent is Jimmy Sexton of CAA. Sexton and CAA also represent Dan Lanning, Brett Venables, and Gus Malzahn. Those are all Gabriel's college head coaches, which is where all the conspiracy theories take root. I honestly haven't given it much credence until ESPN's Dan Orlovsky, quote, Dan Orlovsky randomly started his own campaign to promote Stefanski and his publicly advocate for the Browns head coach to be the next coach of the Giants. Sorry, it's a little small on my end of the screen here, which I thought was odd considering Stefanski is still very much employed by Cleveland. Why would a national sports commentator suddenly be job campaigning on behalf of a head coach who hasn't even been fired? Then I found that Orlovsky is also represented by, you guessed it, CAA. And so you can see here, it's kind of like this big circle here of CAA. And all those guys, all college coaches were all coached Dillon Gabriel. Dan Orlovsky represented by CAA. Kevin Stefanski represented by CAA. And here's what Dan Orlovsky said this week. This is via, I got this clip via Cleveland.com. Shout out to them when they reacted to it. Here's what Orlovsky said the day Brian Dable got fired.
Name that I would pay attention to if I were the Giants is what happens in Cleveland with Kevin Stefanski. If I could handpick a guy, it would be Stefanski. He's an outstanding coach, 2-time coach of the year. I understand people in Cleveland are like, this guy can't coach. There's a lot of empirical data we say otherwise. This is a difficult spot for the Giants. I really believe that because there's no question you need to get a guy that's going to bring the best out of Jackson Dart, obviously. But it's also when the Giants have been at their best, it's been under like a coach like a Parcells or a Tom Coughlin, a defensive-minded, hard-nosed, disciplinarian, tough. It fits the culture. It's not just offensive-centric. So it's trying to find the balance. I would go Kevin Stefanski. I would go Jesse Minter, the defensive coordinator of the Chargers. I would entertain John Gruden and maybe Matt Nagy, but Kansas City. But I would pay attention to see what's going on.
Yeah. So I thought that was kind of odd. He was campaigning for
great coach.
And we got Joey back in the building. Yeah, he's a great coach. 2-time coach of the year. So, Jersey, I'll go to you first. I'm going to think about this a little more. I appreciate you, Ronnie. Wrist up, he said, at him flip. Dan said, I've worked with a lot of great salespeople, but I've never met one who could sell me on a 5'9" Hawaiian horse jockey southpaw on being an NFL quarterback. Nothing would surprise me anymore. Stefanski had Dart ranked behind Dylan on his draft board. That's insane. But go ahead, Jersey. Your reaction to this, the CAA connection, and why is Dan Orlovsky all of a sudden? And again, we're just reacting to this theory that's been put out there in the internet because I find it interesting. Why is Orlovsky all of a sudden campaigning for Stefanski? Does Stefanski know he's going to be fired at the end of the year? I thought he's safe.
Yeah. Yeah, you talk about something so far out of right field. Like, who in their right mind would get on national TV and campaign for Kevin Stefanski to get another coaching gig after this happened? Under no circumstance would you ever see that. Ever. Nobody could honestly do that. So it's absolutely tied to the organization, CAA. And how could anybody, especially Dan Orlovsky, who plays football, it's just crazy. It's as crazy as going back and just thinking about, you have 2 rookie quarterbacks, and for the last 6 weeks you have your 5th round pick, your other rookie quarterback is now, like you said, a snap away from having to go into a game. And you have never, ever, ever put him with the first team. It is the most egregious fucking thing a coach could do. People ought to be enraged by what's happened here. They really should. When I just sit here and I think of this, what they have done is horrific. I mean, this is not what a coach is supposed to do. Coaches, any coaches, you're supposed to be developing people. It's almost like they are sabotaging this guy. As I just sit here and I think about it, like, how could you even do this? Never let this guy take a snap
And
with
even
the
if
first team.
and even if he was, I'm not saying I agree with this because I don't know, but I'm just throwing out a theory to play. Let's say they're behind the scenes. They're saying, well, when he got here, he was very behind. He didn't know a lot of things. He wasn't maybe up to speed where Dylan is. Let's say that's what they're saying, right? Well, he's been in the building since April, late April, May, early May. So that's plenty of time to. And you're the ones that you still drafted the kid at the end of the day, like. You know what I mean? Like, so even if that was their excuse to say that, like, dude, he's been in the building for 5-6 months now. He should be a lot better when miles ahead of when he came in the building in terms of development.
Yeah, I agree. But besides that, he's been a snap away. He has been second on the roster for 6 weeks. And you name me another guy give me another guy, give me another quarterback in the NFL that's second on the depth chart on any NFL team, college team, hell, even a high school team.
I'm about to say high school team. I'm around it. They don't happen.
That's not taking snaps with the first team. So people need to really think about this. This is absolutely so egregious of what they've done that these fucking morons should be fired immediately. It's just crazy. I mean, I don't care that you don't. If you weren't a fan of the pick, it doesn't matter. You have a job. You have a job. You shouldn't be coaching that. You are obligated as a coach to do that absolute best job you can for this player and the team. And they have done the total opposite. Willfully done the total opposite.
But like
and there's nothing being done about it. It's fucking insane. This is happening in Cleveland.
Like, if you're Andrew Berry and because this is a known thing that he hasn't had reps.
Yeah.
They ask him about it every week. If you're Andrew Berry, why aren't you telling Kevin Stefanski you have got to do this?
Just
like,
because here,
nobody cares about this. Like,
because here's what they're all. This is what they're just blatantly saying. We want this guy to fail. We don't want this fucking guy. We're not going to help this guy. What else is it? What else are they saying by doing this?
But even
That's what they're
Haslam, like,
saying.
obviously Haslam is picked. I mean, Haslam wanted Shedeur. Why isn't Haslam stepping? Like, nobody is saying this is stupid.
I hear this for me takes it to a whole different level. You know, there was a lot of people pissed off about him going back in the 5th round, which I don't agree. He shouldn't have been back in the 5th round. You don't agree with it. I don't think anybody with any fucking common sense agrees with it. But this, just sitting here thinking about this tonight, and then watching him on the sitting on the bench after the game, it was just so sad to see. Like, he was just had his fucking hand, his head in his hands, and he looked like he just almost got ran over by a truck. I mean, it was just like, I don't think he even realized what had just happened in that fucking game, and so ill prepared, and it's intentional, and it just irritates me so bad because I'm someone that's just committed my life to developing people. And I hate terrible coaching. I hate bad coaches at any level. And to see this happening, and I hope that, gosh, this coming week, there is an uproar, because there needs to be. They need to wipe these assholes out of Cleveland. When you are, because you're potentially hurting this guy. This guy could get hurt. You know what I mean? You could end this guy's career. He could never have a chance to have a long-lasting career he's worked so hard to get to, because you're putting him in the worst possible predicament because you're such arrogant assholes, and you clearly shouldn't be in the positions you're in. So here, anybody wants to come here and challenge me on it, fuck, I'll meet you somewhere. This has got me so pissed off just sitting here thinking about it, because it's so terrible. And here, maybe I will make my trip to Berea. I've been bitching about. I don't care about JW and his stupid ass radio content. This is just like, people would need to be lining up outside Berea. This is absolutely crazy. I don't care. It's not even the fact that it's Shedeur Sanders. It's any player. This is your number. This is the second in your depth chart, and you threw him in a game, and he's never, ever, ever, ever taken a snap in practice with those guys. And for Wyatt Teller to say what he said, Wyatt Teller's probably saying, he's thinking the same thing. What are you fucking morons doing? If I'm the Cleveland Browns, if I'm those players, I'd just say, we're not even showing up. They should just, even though they're not, they are union. They should just strike. I would. I just fucking not even show up, protest these assholes. You know what I mean? Just tell Jimmy Haslam, get these assholes out of here, or we're not playing at all. Because this is crazy, not you, because you're starting to jeopardize players. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me it's anything but that. It's inconceivable what they're doing.
But he's the 2-time coach of the year.
2-time coach of the year.
Who fired his staff after he won the your staff, again, go ask any great coach. All these, I hear people out using that. He's a 2-time coach of the year. What makes a great coach is the staff he puts around him. And this guy, like I mentioned earlier, has mismanaged his staff so much. Well, he's fired people who should never been fired, and it's bit him in the ass.
Your staff
mismanaged his staff and his team.
Everything.
Exactly. And it starts when you mismanage your staff, it leaks down to the team.
Jeez Louise. And your players. I mean, I know you got position coaches, you got position coaches and such, but he makes that call. What makes you a great coach is, at the end of the day, it's all about player development. Mm-hmm. And you do that whichever way. You do that by building the right staff and having all like-minded people that share the same passion, which is develop these guys. Develop. And you see the guys that are real coaches that have that philosophy, they're all successful. Because you see them, they take guys in late rounds and they develop their asses. These idiots here, they have done none of that.
Oh, and they take no accountability. Just remember J.W. Johnson and before and here's remember when they beat the Packers this year? He said, I know all the trolls will come out. Who cares about the trolls? Huge team win. And thank you to all the fans that showed up, supported this team, and for not selling your tickets to the fans of other teams. Want to know? Let's go. Let's effing go.
This
That's what he
that's
said.
what
And then somebody said, shut the fuck up, loser. And he put troll. He replied to the guy.
are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, I didn't see this till recently.
Wait,
And that's
what
he
was
put.
that again?
So remember when they beat the Packers back in
Yeah.
September? J.W. Johnson went on Twitter because remember we had his preseason. Remember the press conference we showed on the radio where he said, "Yeah, they're cracking eggs and he challenged anybody to come down and see how hard they're working in Berea and blah blah blah." And we said, "Well, we'll come over and check it out." And after I didn't see this till last week. It popped up. It was people were reposting it again because how the season's gone since. And he said, I know all the trolls will come out, but who cares about the trolls? Huge team win. Again, this is after the Packers game. And thank you to all the fans that showed up and supported this team and for not selling your tickets to the fans of the other team. Want to know? Let's LFG. And then some guy said, shut that up, loser. And he put troll.
Hey, the fact that he's that excited over the whole climate that's going on in Cleveland, he's excited. He's that fired up about that. Shows you how much of a loser J.W. Johnson is. He is an absolute complete fucking loser. J.W. Johnson, here you fucking loser. I'm sure you can look you got all the intelligence in the world. You're wealthy, dude. You can look us up. You know exactly where I live. Come to my fucking house, you fucking asshole.
Don't come to my house, please.
You fucking asshole. Come to my fucking work. You're gonna get on and say you're gonna say this shit to the fans. Shame. What an absolute idiot. This guy is an absolute fucking idiot and a loser. Colin, whoever said that, he hit the nail right in the head. What an absolute loser. It's no wonder this team is in the state it's in because we got somebody so fired up about a victory, not a bunch of victories, a victory, that he's getting on calling the fans trolls. He's calling the people that buy tickets trolls. I mean, get the hell out of here. This guy is an absolute pile of shit.
Chris?
These assholes got me fired up.
Woo. Joey, you there, brother? I know Joey's just been in the back. He's just there.
Yeah, I'm heating up over here. I'm still cold. I'm here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Wahoo Fed. This was back.
The owner of the Browns.
This was back when they beat the Packers. This is the tweet. People have been resurfacing this tweet recently. I didn't know. I never saw this tweet because I'm really honest. I'm not on X a whole lot. But he said this was after the Packers game, and this is what he said. And so this has been resurfacing recently. People have been using it against him now. Joey, what's your take on this? Oh, all this really. You've been in the back waiting patiently. I know you got a lot to say. Go ahead.
I don't think I got any comments on this. I don't know enough about it, so I'm just gonna stay out of this one.
All right. Oh, do you have any other thoughts about the Shedeur's practice reps and everything?
Kind of miss Joe Flacco, man. You know, I would take Flacco over what we have right now.
Well, Flacco's gone, Joe, so we have to talk about what's going on now.
Well, we're battling for the first overall pick. I mean, that's what we're talking about, right? It's not gonna matter though if we don't develop players like how you said. So
yeah, well, that's my man. What's
clean house.
What do you think about Stefanski's comments? That's what I was asking her about how Shedeur has 0 first-team reps and he was a snap away and he got put in the game today.
I think Stefanski is doing whatever upper management's telling him to do. You know, I think they're telling him to practice guys these ways or start guys these ways just so he keeps his job. Like, I mean, you can't be this bad of a coach. There's got to be some guys above him holding him like, I don't know. This is just horrible. It's all horrible. I mean, it starts with ownership and it's a trickle-down effect. And unfortunately, you can't fire the owner. So it'll probably just be bad as long as Haslam's owning the team.
But the thing about Stefanski, though, where he doesn't get any credit, because if he was worth a grain of salt, he would just resign. He wouldn't.
At least, yeah.
You know what I mean?
You would hope if they're telling you what to do, that you would be like, no, I'm gonna coach my way, but
Right. Or
and
fire me.
yeah, and if this is really the way Stefanski wants to be coached, he needs to be fired because this is some of the worst coaching, some of the worst player development. And player development's been an issue for the last 5 years for the Browns. This isn't a new thing. We cannot develop our young talent. We can't do it. And
Yeah, I don't understand all these people that say that the Barry's drafts really aren't that bad. I'm thinking, what players has he really hit on in since 2020? Like, who are the elite players? Who are the like guys that you'd sign to a second contract? Who are they?
I will say,
Well,
Carson
Morris,
Schlesinger, man, that
Yeah,
dude
he's a
is
dog. They
that
hit on
dude is
that pick.
legit.
Yeah, no, he's a dog. But I
He's a
mean,
dog.
up until this draft, I mean, what picks for 5 years did they ever really hit on? Like, I mean, they got JOK. I'll pull it up right here. Browns draft picks since 2020. But I mean, like you said, but I don't know if a lot of it's even just who they've drafted. I think it's like you said, a lot of it just goes down to development. How many guys did they not get the most out of? Obviously that's something we'll never know. But since 2020, I got it on my screen. It says Jed Wills, Grant Delpit, Jordan Elliott, Jacob Phillips, Harrison Bryant, Nick Harris, Donovan Peoples-Jones, right? And then after that, if I can find, okay, this doesn't have the next year for some reason. But even that draft alone in 2020, okay, you took Jed Wills when Bill Callahan said you should take Tristan Wirfs. Grant Delpit, I think, has been a good player for you. Jordan Elliott, you took in the third round. I don't know if he's even in the NFL right now. Is he still in the NFL? I don't know either. Jacob Phillips. I like Jacob Phillips the person, but I don't know what happened there. Harrison Bryant had a lot of potential coming out. A lot of people thought he might have been the best tight end in college when his senior year or his last year in college, whatever it was. He's not here. Nick Harris no longer here. Donovan Peoples-Jones. A lot of people thought he was a steal, had a lot of upside, and he's no longer in the NFL. And so we go to the next draft now in 2021. They took Greg Newsome, who they just traded. JOK, obviously, that's an elite player hit. Anthony Schwartz, James Hudson, Tony Fields, Richard LeCount, Demetric Felton, and Evan Brown.
There was a guy next to me at the Browns game with the Anthony Schwartz jersey on. I was like, that is the most random jersey to wear.
2022, Martin Emerson, who has shown potential. Now he's hurt. So Alex Wright, who I think is a solid pick. David Bell had to medically retire, not in the NFL, but did not produce when he was here. They never really. I think that's if there's one guy I think got underdeveloped, might have been him, because he wasn't back in college. Perrion Winfrey, don't explain. He's out of the league. Cade York, kicker in the fourth round. I don't know. Is he in the league still? I don't know. Jerome
I think he's
Ford,
on a practice squad somewhere.
Yeah, Jerome Ford. I don't think Jerome had elite talent, but I think Jerome's a guy who you gave him a bunch of carries his rookie season, then you fired his position coach, then you cut his carries by 100, and now he's just sitting on the mat, not playing ever. It's a wasted pick. Michael Woods, Isaiah Thomas, Dawson Deaton. So again, so far we're down. I have 3 guys that I think are solid. You could say are solid picks. All right, out of all the players I've mentioned, and you're not going to hit on every pick. That's impossible. Then it was Cedric Tillman, Siaki Ika, DeJuan Jones, Isaiah McGuire, DTR, Cam Mitchell, and Luke Whippler. Luke Whippler's to be determined.
What a draft.
Cam Mitchell is no longer on the roster. DTR was DTR. Isaiah McGuire, he's been a hit. I'll give him that. I think Isaiah's been decent. DeJuan Jones so far has not been a hit. Was a seat, a lot of it's health, and then I think a lot of it too is DeJuan not having Bill Callahan around that hurt him too. Siaki Ika, I think he's on the practice squad. Cedric Tillman. Gersh, what's your analysis of Cedric Tillman? All right, that's
Poorly
the analysis.
coached.
Yes, he's got nothing to say. That's the analysis. So I got 4 players, right, that are McGuire, Wright, Delpit, and JOK. And then with 2024, Mike Hall, who hasn't played this year, he's hurt. Zach Zenner, been hurt. Jamari Thrash has been hurt. And Nathaniel Watson, I haven't seen him out there. Yeah, so that's been and now to be fair, this past draft has been the best one, obviously. Mason Graham hit. To me, Carson's a big, obviously. Quinchon, I think Harold Fannin. So that's 4 there. So this past draft, definitely things have looked in the right direction, but overall, I think, like you said, Joey, I look at a lot of those names, rereading those again. There was a lot of guys that actually had a lot of talent coming out that you're probably right. They probably were just underdeveloped here in Cleveland. Their career just kind of went to the wayside.
Yeah, these players get drafted and buy into our program, but we don't have a program and they don't get developed, and then their careers are short. David Bell, you mentioned, like, I thought if David Bell was handled the right way in Cleveland, he could have been a decent, a solid receiver. Maybe not a first or second, but like a solid third receiver for our team. Just didn't pan out. But he was also injured a good amount of time too. But I thought he was solid.
Hall has been playing the last few weeks. What are you talking about? He's been out. Hasn't he been out? I didn't see Mike Hall out there at all today. Did you? Did anybody see Mike Hall out there today?
I'm not sure.
Not when I was watching.
Unless he's not playing. I know he's been out there with an injury. He's had an injury all year. That's all I'm telling. Maybe he is activated, but I haven't seen him out there. Wright needs a second contract. Yeah, I like Alex Wright. I like McGuire. I like Delpit. I like JOK when he's healthy. Obviously, he's a star. But a lot of these guys, again, I think the development, and a lot of it goes back to coaching, just the overall development. It might not even be Adrian Berry. A lot of it might just be the overall, just the coaching, the development, and the culture. Like we talked about Gergs and Jersey. That's probably a lot of it is. I bet you a lot of those guys probably could have been something.
Oh yeah, but I mean, you got a loser like J.W. Johnson in charge. I mean, so and then it trickles down from that. What a man in charge, calling the fans trolls. And just doing it behind a keyboard. I'd love someone to just take his sorry ass to the stadium and walk in and start calling these fans trolls. Hey, JW, if you ever get off your high horse and watch our show, why don't you go out in the Muni lot and start calling these people trolls? Fucking coward. That's got me so spun up. I don't care. Yeah, I'm spun up because it's not really about me. It's just the people that I don't go up there. Here, I won't go to a game unless I get tickets for free. I am never, ever going to spend my money on those shit bags. So, but I feel bad for the people that work their asses off. They take their kids and they spend that money and they buy the parking, they pay the tickets, parking, food. And then you got some idiot that's married into the family getting on and calling the fans trolls. It's no wonder this is what we have in Cleveland. It's the arrogance. It's just unbelievable to get on and start calling your fans trolls, to have no empathy for your fans and all the money that they've spent over the years and just continue to come and be loyal, and you get on and call them trolls. It's no wonder this is the hot product that we got in Berea. It's gosh darn. It's never going to end with these losers in charge.
I'm in an unhealthy, toxic relationship with the Cleveland Browns.
You are. It's abusive.
It is abusive, but I keep coming back.
I know. That's what happens. You just keep on coming back.
And you know what? It's encouraging by the fans, at least. I mean, this franchise has done such a poor job to our fans. And I mean, that stadium, it wasn't full, but there were a lot of fans there, and it was freezing out. Obviously, the team is garbage, but that's not going to stop people from coming. You know, I give you credit for not wanting to spend another dime on the Browns. I don't blame you, but Browns fans are going to keep showing up no matter what. I mean, we had the 0-16 parade. I mean, we got to celebrate something.
Well, here, and just to clarify, and I've said this before, it's not the players. It's never the players. My frustration's never the players. I'll spend the money on the players. You know what I mean? Because these guys are working their asses off, and they've been through the grind their whole lives to get there. It's the absolute shitbags that are running the show up there that are doing such a horrible job, been doing such a terrible job for so long. You know, I'll just never spend it. But I'm never I'm never attacking the players. Never will. But those guys, absolutely.
I want to, yeah. So Mike called it. So I appreciate it for correcting me. Go Buckeyes. 1,000. Go Bucks, by the way. Yeah, I didn't recognize him out there. That's the last two. That's why I didn't know he was even back. I know he was hurt most of the year. He came back against the Patriots and the Jets. We didn't put up any stats. He got a sack today, so maybe he's increasing his PT more. I don't know. I did notice Aiden Huntington. I like him. I'll give him that one. I think he's a guy that could develop into something really, really good. But unreal how the fans still keep showing up. Unreal loyalty. They're hard-earned money for this product. Yeah.
All right.
But like we always end the fellas, we'll go around the horn here before we get out of here and give our predictions for next week's game against the Raiders. Joey, I'll go to you first. What's your prediction for next week?
Is it in Vegas or is it in Cleveland?
In Vegas.
That's
Does
a
it
loss.
matter?
I'll go. Well, are we assuming Shedeur starting? Is he going to get first team reps this week? We don't know.
Well, if Gabriel's in concussion protocol, does he have to? I don't know if he has to be out next week or.
No, he doesn't have to be out next week, but he has to wait a certain amount of time. So
right,
Shedeur should get reps.
I'm gonna say 12-3 Raiders.
All right. Sounds like a baseball score. Yep. Jersey?
I don't know. All I know is Bailey Zappi will be the quarterback probably by the third quarter.
What's your prediction?
Zappy.
You got to get a prediction. It's in Vegas.
Raiders. I'm gonna say Raiders. 23-13.
23-13 Raiders. All right. Dan has Raiders 17, Browns 16. So he has the Browns lose. So all three of you guys had the Browns losing. Gergs, what do you have?
Well, I mean, it doesn't really matter who the quarterback is for the Browns. It's just so hard to pick the Cleveland Browns, but I think this is a game they win. I'll say Browns 19, Raiders 17.
Oh, so Gergs has the Browns winning. Wow. Wow. I'm gonna say Dylan Gabriel ends up being the starter. I think he'll clear, and Kevin already said after the game he's still gonna be a starter, so I'm assuming he's gonna play. I'll say the Browns lose. I'll say Raiders 24, Browns 13. And I'll say my former teammate of the Raiders, Trey Tucker, has a touchdown, a bomb, 70 yards. We played him last year, he lit us up. So, yeah, I'll go with Trey get a touchdown too. Hard to win with that offense. I like the Raiders to win on the I like the Raiders. Hard to win on the road with this offense. Yeah, it's a good point.
Hard to
Wahoo
win at
fan.
home with this offense.
Yeah. Go Buckeyes 1000 said 9-6 Vegas. So we got some low score. He said 9-6. They said 9-6, excuse me. DB, you said 12-3.
Yeah.
So
Here's the thing, like if we made Schwartz our interim head coach for the rest of the season, our offense can't get any worse. Why not? I just don't get. Just give him a shot. Fire Stefanski. Let Schwartz run the team. Our defense has been great all year. I'd say we should do it, but they won't fire him.
And I think with that, I think Stefanski still has his hand all over the play calling, even though he's quote unquote giving it up. I mean, I find it hard to believe that there's two offensive minds that just don't want to ever throw it down the field. So in my mind, Reese is still being told don't do it, because I just don't think it's possible that two NFL coordinators don't want to throw the ball.
well, and you turned it over in November. I mean, you're already months into your install. You've already installed your system. Like you've already there. All Tommy Reese can really do is add progressions off of stuff they've already done.
100%.
Which he has, and I think his philosophies. I think 2 weeks in a row, it's been a more balance in the run passing, pass attempts and the rushing attempts, which I like. But and they've been competitive in the games, but
But I don't think he's free. I don't.
No, he's not.
Yeah, I don't think he's calling free. You know what I mean? I think if like
he's
like
still limited
too. Thing.
Yeah, well, and he's still limited because you're already in November. There's not a whole lot he can really. All he can change is the attempts, in terms of that philosophy, and adding, progressions off of base plays they've already been running all year.
But they got to do something. I mean, this offense is really hard to watch. The good news for the Cleveland Browns, though, is Geno Smith loves to throw interceptions. So that's a good thing for the Browns.
Go Buckeyes 1000 said Jimmy isn't going to fire anyone, Sally. Yeah, you got that right, my friend. Here you go. I hope you're wrong, but you might be right. I don't know. But I after reading that Orlovsky thing, though, I think I wonder if Dan Orlovsky might know something. I don't know. Maybe Kevin knows he's out the door at the end of the year. Browns, have you noticed, play much better at home? Victory versus Packers and Dolphins, blowouts on the road versus Ravens, Pats, and Steelers. It might be in for a blowout next Sunday. Then I don't know if that's the case. But shout out to Wahoo fan, go Buckeyes 1000, Teflon, Chantel. Everybody was in here tonight. There's so many. Rodney, everybody. There's so many people. Dan was in the house tonight. Shout out to user SR4. The rest of it with the fours. Appreciate you. Brelly G, the GOAT TM said, "Damn, I wish you shit got me tight." That was when you were on your rant earlier, Jersey. He was with you. But shout out to everybody that tuned in tonight and took time. Yeah, appreciate all the new subscribers as well. Shout out to all you guys. He said Jimmy loves Barry Reese. Reese is more accountable than Kevin, I have noticed. Yeah, I'm sure. I think Tommy Reese probably is doing things in that aspect a lot differently. I know people who are familiar with Tommy Reese in the coaching world that said they speak very highly of him. They thought he was an excellent coach. I mean, he obviously was under Nick Saban. I think Nick Saban still speaks highly of him. So that means something to me. I just think, like Chris said too, it's kind of too late now in the process for him to really run the offense he truly wants to run. And he's probably still he still has somebody above him who handed it all to play calling, but how much autonomy does Reese really have during the game? I'm not sure. But there are some changes I have noticed and I liked. So 2-18 that plays at great at home. That's a new one. But all right, well, Gergs, I appreciate you, and Joey, appreciate you as well, and we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, hey, Jersey, get that blood pressure down, dude.
It's actually down, dude.
Not after that rant.
Oh, that didn't give me. Here, you see me way worse. That wasn't even bad. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know.
Well, that guy's terrible though, man. How horrible.
You said come to my house.
Oh, I don't. Yeah,
No,
absolutely.
actually,
You know
don't
what I
come
mean?
to his house. Please don't go to his
No, I'm just saying here, dude. Don't hide behind your keyboard, you
I'll call
freaking
the popo. All right.
bum. Let me hide behind my keyboard. He's the troll. He's the guy getting on saying this shit. Tell me who's the troll. You know what I mean? Good grief. Show your face, loser.
Oh,
Josh says I could see his face turning red. Dan says cracking eggs in the falls.
Oh yeah.
But all right,
Cracking
Gert,
heads.
appreciate you, brother. We'll see you next week.
all right, buddy.
Go
See you guys.
Browns.
See you, Joey.
See it.
And again, we ain't got nothing personal against JW, but I agree with you though in terms like you're just fired up because this guy it seems like he's attacking fans. He's telling
Yeah.
people before the season, don't challenge us and our work ethic and come on down and see it, and then they put out the PSL prices for the new stadium, just like a slap in the face in the middle of all this chaos, this mess this season, and then to sit up there and call people trolls for questioning you is basically what he was saying. I mean, that's crazy.
Well, here, it's not his team. He hasn't earned that team, and what he fails to realize is he's the employee of the fans. You know what I mean? Don't get up there and talk shit to the people that pay your bills. You know what I mean? Or not even get up there. Get behind your keyboard and shoot your mouth off. You know what I mean? So if you want to go to that point, or you want to start this thread and start calling people trolls, take your ass out to the Muni. After you guys just put out another shit performance, and the fans are all pissed off because they're broke, and they're broke after the week because they spent the money to go to blow off some steam, or maybe take their kid. Go out there and shoot your mouth off. You know what I mean? I can't stand people like that. And you're a multi-millionaire too. And this is what you're saying to these people. It just shows you what we have sitting in those offices in Berea. It's astonishing. It's as bad as that. Who was that one owner that threw his drink on the fans?
Oh, that was the Panthers owner.
Yeah, I mean, at least he owns the team. This guy don't even own the team. He thinks he does because his daddy does. You know what I mean? So I mean, it's just to get out and say that shit. Shut the hell up.
He said bet Jimmy told JW what to put out. It might be.
Probably not. I mean, probably not. I don't think. I highly doubt Jimmy Haslam is getting that involved and that in depth with shit like that. This guy's just got nothing else to do. You know what I mean? What's J.W. Johnson doing?
I just think the way he talks, it's people. It sounds like somebody who thinks they know what they're doing in football from a football standpoint. Like they understand it, and like, how dare you challenge it? Remember, he's also said in the end of that thing before the season, one day we're gonna be hosting a freaking Lombardi, and I can't wait for it. Like, how? You're not.
Yeah, give me the path. Give me the road course to it. Tell me what you're doing to where you're going to be hoisted a Lombardi.
Who's in your building? Who in your building right now has ever hoisted a Lombardi? Your two rookie quarterbacks don't have anybody on the bench right now to help them.
You know what?
That's been a quarterback.
I have this dream that I'm going to start dream. I have this dream that in 10 years, I'm going to own an NFL team somehow, some way. I'm going to accumulate $10 billion and I'm going to own an NFL team and I'm going to hoist a Lombardi trophy. You know what I mean? There's as much validity in me as there is them. I mean, these idiots are never going to hoist a Lombardi trophy. I mean,
not as they're operating.
No, well, that's just who they are. They're never going to they're never going to win because they don't know how to win. You know what I mean? And there's a bunch of other people in the league that know how to win. So they are never going to win. They are absolute. They are the best in the world of losing. We got the greatest losers in the world owning the Cleveland Browns. They're the best losers as there is.
like Go Buckeyes said, ownership as a whole is a shit show.
These guys are absolute masters in losing, and they're just losers, facetiously and literally. So,
Mr. Jaffetti said, "Fire Kevin Stefanski, effective immediately, respectfully."
yeah, get rid of him. My
Mhm.
gosh,
Just gotta be better. But,
just got to be better.
You know what else they can do? They can like, subscribe, and share. You want to tell them why?
Yeah. Hey, JW, why don't you like, subscribe, and share? Since you like to get on and troll people, why don't you man up and come on the show? And or here, go, like I said, go to the community lot and talk your trash. But yeah, that's why you should like, subscribe, and share, because there's no bullshit on this show. The Cleveland Browns don't tell us what the hell we're going to say, like some of these other people you watch. And most of the people you watch, these controlled mouthpieces, but we call their asses out here. If they win, absolutely, we're going to salute them. You know what I mean? It's always great to win. Everybody wants to win. But these guys have done a horrific job, as far as they've done a terrible job by the fans, by their players, and we're going to call their asses out. And it just doesn't stop there. It's any other team. It's here. If thank gosh we have Dan Gilbert, but if the Cleveland Cavaliers the same way, be calling their asses out too. So I just think that's all anybody could ever want in a show, is because everybody's tired of getting the same old bullshit and rhetoric and everything getting spun around. Nobody wants to watch that. That's all it is. You know, you might as well turn on mainstream news. You know what I mean? So that don't go on here. And just it gives everybody an opportunity. Anybody wants to come on the show, as long as they come on and they're, you know, they're not vile or anything like that, they come on the show, you know, and they comment in. So I think he's shown that for the last 3 years. And so come on the show. And if not, like it, subscribe, and share. Everybody have a great week, and go Knights.
All right, make sure you guys like, subscribe, share all that good stuff, and shout out to all the new subscribers tonight. The people chatted in, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm out of here. Go.